Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we discuss last night's opening game. We give you our fantasy MVPs for the 2019 season and some starts and sits. Starting now on the Back Row Fantasy Show.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts Jeremy Barker and Aaron Arms.
We're back. It's Bark, and my left is Arms.
Good morning.
And to my right is Brian. No, it's not. It's Neil. Neil's to my right.
Good evening.
And to the front of me, the sweet, sweet front is Hux.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Wearing a Buffalo Bills shirt.
Yes, sir.
Boo.
Neil's got on a Clemson/Patriots hybrid shirt that he made at the Bandwagon store.
Facebook special.
Yeah.
They invaded my privacy, then sell me things,
I have a Royal Rumble 2019 champion shirt on.
which he obviously didn't deserve. He
Well, first
obviously saw it off somebody.
Well, I don't know who won the Royal Rumble this year. It's actually a basketball tournament, which I didn't
You
play
can't play
in. I don't play basketball. My nephew played. He won. He's like, "You want this shirt?" I'm like, Psh, anything I can turn into a cutoff. Hell yeah.
Psh, psh. I love Ed Bassmaster so much.
Okay.
Psh. The psh thing. Psh. Where he's walking around in the sweater. And
I'm following.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, there's something more important like a text message.
Let's talk about football.
There we go.
That's what it is. So thanks for joining us yet again on the Back Row Fantasy Show. We're going to dive right into last night's game after we do a few minutes of our normal banter. And we got MVPs for you and starts and sits as if you didn't hear it before the music started. But I just want to make sure.
Yeah, they just
wanna
skip
make
through
sure
the first
everybody's
2
here.
minutes just to not hear you do the intro every time.
Yeah, they're like, give me some of that arms talk for 30 minutes straight. Where's that arms talk? I should just
I'll be honest with you. That's all I listen to it for.
record you talking and put it in my Sounders board and just be like, no show tonight, guys. All I got to do is this. Push the button. Well, I do think Alvin Kamara is going. Alvin
I
Kamara.
haven't talked about Alvin Kamara in probably 6 months.
I know, but give me this. Just give it to me. Give me this.
It's not a relevant statement.
Give me this moment.
Although
A
I will tell
moment
you
like this.
a couple things about not last night's game, but the commercials during last night's game were beautiful. The Baker Mayfield, as though he couldn't be more relatable. The breaker box, him flipping all the switches in the breaker box, trying to get the blender working for his girlfriend. Did either of you guys see that?
Negative.
Oh my God, it was great. So she's up in the press box
Have to YouTube it.
with a blender, and Baker's at the giant breaker box for the stadium flipping that one. She yells down no and just repeats for like 20, and so he just starts flipping handfuls of breaker. He's like, I give up, and just turns around and walks away, which is what every man who's ever done electrical work in his house does. And he's like, I don't know who labeled this. You guys apparently y'all don't ever do your own electrical work, do you?
No.
No. Okay. Never mind. Some of the guys who listen to the show may relate to that. It's funny. I'm sorry. You guys don't get it.
Well, to be
My
fair,
bad.
Oh, it's not that. It's just waiting our turn to talk is all.
and the thing is, most millennials don't do their own work anymore. Okay, they pay others to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Fiverr. That's what Fiverr's for. Like,
Smart thing to do.
Or if you know how to do it.
I don't want the headache. Got to spend the money.
Dude, it's like wiring
Yeah.
up ceiling fans cake.
Can't take money with. Well, yeah, that's easy, but can't take the
That's
money
the
with
type of
you.
electrical work I'm talking about.
Oh, my bad.
Not rewiring a damn house.
Okay, calm down.
Then the other one was whenever Alvin Kamara's coming
There
in
it
to
is.
watch the game with his fantasy owner.
Alvin Kamara.
And the guy's like, "Hey, man, not this year. You're on another team." And he walks out all sad like. I'm like, dude, that's the reason Kamara's never coming off the copper beards. I can't do that to him.
By the way, Copperbeard's is arm sustaining
In the league of record, yes.
in the League of Record. If you'd like to tell them all about it. No?
Nope.
Championship contender this year. Mm-hmm. Made enough moves to get it done. I would like to talk about the Listener League, but you know what? I just don't know if there's going to be time. I'll try to sneak it in there at some point. We'll see how this goes, but let's dive in. Last night's game, I told everybody, because everybody listens to me, obviously, when I do get to talk, I'll cut that out. It's too much fun. Hux has got this thing
It
going.
is fun. I love it.
Hux has got this thing going where Arms apparently never stops talking, and we don't realize it because we've got phones and devices in front of us to keep us busy during the show. But last night's game, Thursday night, no good games happen on Thursday night. It's very rare that a good game happens on Thursday night. I wouldn't read too much into it. The only thing that someone brought up was, would you not read too much into the lack of Geronimo Allison? And to that I say, I don't have any shares for a reason. Wasn't really high on Allison going into the season because I think MVS
He was
is the better
your guy
receiver.
going into 18, though.
Absolutely, and for good reason. He showed that he could get it done, then he got hurt. Marquez Valdez-Scantling enters the fold. Scantling is a more tantalizing prospect. I just think Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a better weapon for Green Bay than Geronimo Allison. Geronimo Allison's a solid receiver. I just don't know if he's going to get a lot of run as the third. I know he's the slot guy, but I just don't know. I can't trust him like I trust MVS.
What I will say, kind of in relation to that, and it speaks more to what Neil was saying pre-show, like double and triple team and Devontae. Mm-hmm. MVS looked like the best receiver on the field last night.
Because of Devontae.
Because he was open. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
he was able to beat coverage. I mean, obviously, when you devote that much attention to a stud like Devontae, it's going to happen. But Valdez-Scantling, I mean, even as Aaron Rodgers put it, he's fast, but he didn't know what he's doing. This year, he knows what he's doing. He looks smooth. He looks fast. He looks like a hell of a wide receiver, honestly. This is that compliment to Devontae Adams, that number 2 receiver that everyone's been looking for in Green Bay to be consistent. I think it's MVS.
He's the perfect guy to have as your number 4 or 5. Perfect guy to have.
Well, yeah,
as your
maybe
4 or
like
5.
at the number 5, like his on yesterday was 47 yards on 4 catches. So what's that really saying? He only had 52 yards total. It's like he didn't blow up the board.
Okay, it was against the Bears.
I understand that, but still, like, people were all up in arms. He's had 52 total yards and 1 catch as a long one. Besides that, he didn't really do much of anything.
But it's game 1 on a Thursday night with a rusty Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't played a snap all preseason.
You will not convince me that as the season goes on, Valdez-Scantling has bigger games than that most of the
Well,
time.
yeah, he's obviously the number 2. And I'm not debating that, but
Quit hating.
And he
I'm just
looked
saying
good at the end of last year, too.
well, that's true. I'm talking about last night, which is what we
also
started
true.
on. He didn't exactly blow up the board. He
No,
had
not
the
yet.
one long catch on and then 52 yards on 4 receptions.
That was called a flash. Against a team like Miami, you double those numbers.
I mean, we're talking about a 10-3 ball game here. Nobody did anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's good players on the field. David Montgomery, not worried. Rodgers, not worried. Trubisky, a little bit worried. Allen Robinson might make me eat some crow. I've never been an Allen Robinson fan, but they peppered him. He played well. He made some spectacular catches.
He should have had more yards
Yeah,
yesterday.
but how many targets did Allen Robinson get yesterday?
Well,
He had
If-
13 targets.
probably.
I mean,
he's the go-to. I mean, it's hard to argue right now.
I get that, but I feel like as Dave Montgomery evolves into this offense, it's going to.
What, Allen Robinson gets 9 targets a game?
Yeah,
Well, just think if he caught.
I'll take it.
but if you're only catching half of them,
Well, 6 of the targets are obviously probably overthrown or thrown behind him. So
Well, listen, Trubisky threw 45 times. That should never happen. So,
No, it should.
I mean,
that's not the style of player he is, for one.
no, and it's just not the style of the Bears offense. It's not what they need to do.
It's not like they were behind 40 points and had to sling it every time
Right.
either.
No. But it was a dud of a game. The biggest takeaway for me was Green Bay's defense might be good. I can't remember the last time Green Bay's defense was good. It looked good. The Bears looked good too.
They had Gilbert Brown at one point.
I don't know if Green Bay's defense is as good as Mitch Trubisky looked bad last night.
That's
It's a mixture of both. But
fair
But
statement.
I will say the Bears bowed their neck, and there was nothing doing on the ground. I mean, 47 total yards on rushing for Green Bay, and we're talking about Aaron Jones, who had 5.5 yards a carry last year.
Right. I still don't believe in Aaron Jones. I wasn't a fan going into the season. And Nate Hamilton of Fantasy Tilt said it really well. The running back usage was just so wrong. It was so wrong. Like none of the Green Bay should have gave it to Aaron Jones more. Chicago should have gave it to David Montgomery more. I don't know what the deal was with all the passing, considering it's a 10-3 game. Most of the game, like
right, yeah, right. Like I said, they're not behind 40 points.
why not
Yeah.
establish yourself and move down the field 4 and 5 yards at a time? It was just a rusty garbage game.
I will tell you, out of just seeing the running backs, like David Montgomery needs 80% of the carries in Chicago.
Well, 100%.
And I mean, Mike Davis didn't look awful, but Montgomery did look like he had a lot better vision. He's, got better moves and, a little more smooth with the ball.
And Mike Davis should do what Mike Davis should do, and that's spell him.
Yep.
And I actually love the way they used Tariq Cohen. Like they used
like
him.
slot receiver.
Yeah, he had, 8 catches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spells bad news for Anthony Miller, unfortunately, but Tariq Cohen, probably their best chain-moving wide receiver. So,
I mean, I agree Montgomery's the better running back. I don't think he'll see that 80% carry mark this year. I think it'll probably be more like a 65-35.
yeah, you're probably right on that.
I just feel like he deserves it.
I think
He
eventually
looks that much better.
it might not be till next year, barring injury.
Yeah.
I doubt,
And I'm not sure
I doubt
what
Mike Davis plays for his team next year.
Same. And I'm not sure if you should use David Montgomery as a passing back or not. I'm sure he's pretty solid. He had a 27-yard catch yesterday, looked pretty good.
They
But Tariq
talk
Cohen is
real high about him. Like he's one of the best receivers on the entire team.
I'm sure he is probably right behind Tariq Cohen.
Probably right on that.
I mean, if you split both of those guys back behind the quarterback and just play that game where they don't know if Montgomery's getting the carry, Tariq's getting the carry. I mean, they can probably figure out Tariq's not getting the carry, but both of those guys could, little screen. They could each go each way. It could be dangerous if Matt Nagy, whatever, if he just does it right.
I will also say about Mike Davis, like he looked pretty proficient in pass protection, which is going to keep him a role in that offense.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the name of the NFL is backs by a committee. You got your electric guy, you got your pass blocking guy, and you got your grinder. I mean, the Bears are in a good situation if they can just figure it out.
Not for fantasy. Oh, other than Tariq Cohen. I mean, you're right on that. I eating crow, and I've never liked him, but my God, 8 receptions.
Anybody here have shares of Cohen? I sold my only share for
None.
Matt
Never
Breida.
have.
I have 1 share.
I have 0.
I had traded him for Matt Breida pretty much straight up. There's a couple other players involved, but I kind of believe in Breida. I know he may not stay healthy, but
Process of elimination there, so.
well, yeah, Jared McKinnon, but he's looked clearly better than Tevin Coleman, so we'll see.
I look
But
better in Coleman.
I beg to differ. I
agree with Barker.
All right. So, any other thoughts on the game before we move right along?
I mean,
What will these teams look like mid-season?
Aaron Rodgers is going to do Aaron Rodgers things.
Tucks?
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
Go ahead.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I think Aaron Rodgers will be fine. I
Water's
think
wet.
Aaron Jones will be fine, but he's not going to be a 1,500-yard back at any point. Aaron Rodgers still insanely overdrafted. I mean, does he deserve to be a top 5 quarterback off the board? No doubt about it. But man, this is what we say whenever we say let your quarterbacks fall to you, because Rodgers isn't going to be. He's not going to gap 7th, 8th, 9th place at quarterback.
I did read something about Rodgers and LaFleur Rodgers wasn't liking some of the play calling.
Oh, yeah. I saw plenty of those
And
notes
so-
over the past few months.
It'd be interesting to see, new head coach in there, how they get along as the season progresses.
I mean, winning solves everything. So,
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
if Rodgers is happy with the way yesterday went and LaFleur is happy with the way things went, the relationship could become good, much like AB and the Raiders. It could just – all right.
We forgot.
okay.
We didn't even talk about that pre-show.
Well, that's where we're transitioning. So Mike Mayock is a cracker. Antonio Brown has the support of his teammates, and I just don't know what to think of it. Antonio Brown, I think, has some CTE issues. I'll start with that.
I 100% agree with you. There's something not right with him right now. He went from being a very, maybe he was very verbal in the locker room, but I never heard about him having this diva, thought process over the last couple of years.
He was like a stand-up, hard-working, class wide receiver.
Andre Johnson type, the Julio Jones just kind of did his thing and was respectful about it. Now he's like a whiny little B.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden, the news world is like, man, there is no worse personality at wide receiver than Tyreek Hill, and Antonio Brown's like, hold my beer.
The funny part about the story is that Burfict held him back. during the Mayock situation.
Yeah.
Which, it all comes full circle considering Burfict is probably the reason this is all happening in the first place.
Right.
Would have broke his head.
Burfict's in his ear like, dude, your helmet is just not going to work this year. Hey, bro, don't you think that Mike Mayock is a saltine? Antonio Brown's like, man, Mr. Big Chest thinks you're right. Mr. Big Chest agrees with that. And then Mr. Big Chest goes at him.
And then he apologizes. He's like, wait, if they cut me, how much money do I lose?
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, and that's
I
definitely
spoke
what it
out
was
of
about.
turn.
Oh, but in the interviews, it's not about the money. It is not about the money. Mr. Big Chest has enough money. He's already balling.
Okay.
But here's what really gets me. So not only did we have Mike Mayock trending, and it wasn't even the end of April, we have Antonio Brown trending and Riley Cooper. Somehow this whole situation has Riley Cooper trending when that dude should have his Twitter tag, his verification tag yanked and never be talked about again, yet Riley Cooper is trending because of all this.
Why?
Because of the word cracker.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, it's
It's a sword just in the same way.
Oh, no,
though.
I get it. But
it's one of those things like, well, if Riley said this and we forgave him, did we forgive him? I don't recall forgiving him. Like, I still look at him as a human waste. So, but see, I don't know. I don't think that way of Antonio Brown for calling Mike Mayock what he did. I think it was wrong and it was super crappy, but I think that dude's got some head injuries. Riley Cooper wasn't ever relevant enough to get enough hits to the head
Yeah, he had
to
a minute.
blame CTE.
He at least got set out time, didn't he?
Huh?
Cooper got sat down, didn't he? For the remarks.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, John Gruden's like, nah, man, we're not any good without Antonio Brown. Let's play him.
just win, baby.
I'll give him credit. Antonio Brown for apologizing. If you can keep it straight and narrow from here, it'll be overlooked. One more mistake, I don't think it can be overlooked.
Speaking
Been
of-
too much of an off season.
Speaking of mistakes, good transition here. Sorry for jumping back and forth in this. But Josh Gordon, judge me from what I do from here on out, not my past mistakes. Sounds
I never have really judged Josh Gordon. He just likes to get high and play football.
No,
That's all- I have no problem with that.
I have no problem with that either. Except for, man, like you're making millions of dollars and you have, a few rules to live by.
Oh yeah,
Stop doing that.
It's his own fault. Like he totally deserves the blame, but I'm not looking at him like Lance Phillips running people over. Like he smoked a little weed.
Yeah, I guess my thought on it is, okay, do you think he's recommitted to the game? Do you think we have a chance to see a top-tier version of Josh Gordon?
Not on the Patriots.
I think so.
I don't think so on the Patriots. Too much spread the wealth. I mean, Gordon's going to be your 6 catches for 80 yards on the average, which is great. I mean, I think it's great. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1 or 2 for that matter. I think he's a high upside
If he's
3.
1,000 yards, and
Six catches, 80 yards.
Yeah, that's terrible,
Throw
right?
in probably 10 touchdowns.
No,
Yeah, it's
see, I
wide
don't
receiver
think-
2
I don't-
all day, at
I-
least.
I don't think the touchdowns are there for him. I think he is just merely going to be a chain mover for that offense. Like he might catch 4 or 5
He's
touchdowns.
probably their best red zone guy.
He might be, but I've not seen it for so long that I'm not buying it yet. I'm saying his
The
high
potential is there.
I'm saying the high end for Gordon is 6 and 80 average a game, which is good yardage wise, but it's not. When we talk about Josh Gordon, we expect 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns on 80 receptions, and I don't really, maybe the yards and catches, but I don't think he's going to follow it up with the touchdowns. I see him as like Tyler Lockett level fantasy wise, and you know how I feel about Lockett.
yeah, you're in love with him. We get it.
I hate him and he stinks.
I like Tyler Lockett.
Well, you would.
You would.
You're a Bills fan. You're probably all about Cole Beasley too.
He likes anybody that
Hey,
produces.
I think he's gonna fit well
No.
in that offense.
I stand corrected. Point Barker.
So, are we done with the news? You want to get back on the game real quick?
Let's go ahead.
All right. How good is Roquan Smith?
Oh, that game. Roquan's going to be just fine, but I don't know if yesterday was a testament to it.
He looked like he just knew exactly what was going to happen for the first five plays of the game.
well, he's seen a lot of the field that day.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there's a lot of guys that had 5-6 tackles on the Bears defense, but I mean, Roquan to be in the backfield, so quick, so frequently. Like I don't know, man. I'm pretty confident in him finishing as top 3 linebacker this year.
What about Leonard Floyd? Breakout? I mean, is he going to be a double-digit sack guy from here on out? Two sacks yesterday.
Yes, I think he can be a double-digit sack guy. It's just, I believe his designation is still outside linebacker. So, unfortunately,
right.
his value is near 0.
But if he's giving you 1 to 2 sacks a game as a bye week guy, like most people probably aren't even rostering Leonard Floyd.
I would venture to say he's on the waiver wire of almost every.
To be fair, even like Clay Matthews got this. Yeah, Clay Matthews got those sacks too, but he's never warranted the spot. So
true.
Well, the Bears had 5 sacks last night.
Quite a few. I think the Packers had quite a few as well.
And Mac didn't have any.
5 and 5.
That's pretty good. No sacks for Mac, and they said 5. That's good.
No, Macs are coming, I'm sure. But
no, I know. I'm just saying that's a good sign for that defense. They're getting pressure on the quarterback.
That they can do it without Mac being the guy.
And
I think even Eddie Jackson had a pressure or two.
I know he didn't
Not
have
a sack,
sack.
a pressure. They had some QB pressures.
And the Smiths, Preston and Zadarius for Green
Preston
Bay.
Smith,
Yeah.
who I predicted lead to the Packers in sacks this year.
both
Started
of
out
them.
with the sack and a half.
Both of them looked pretty solid last night. So, Packers defense, I don't know if it's good or Mitchell Trubisky's just that bad, but we shall see.
Let's move it on to MVPs.
Okay.
Let's make this a very seamless show that I'll interrupt occasionally with hilarious banter.
Okay.
Arms, since you talk so damn much, Neil, let's
Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll go with Neil.
Neil, give me a fantasy MVP. I don't care about position. I just want to hear one of your fantasy MVPs.
this week, I think Big.
Season long. If
This
season
week.
okay. Season long.
Season long, a fantasy MVP. You got this guy on your roster. Your chances of a fantasy title are very good.
I'm going with Evan Ingram on that one.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, I like what you're. I like this. Go ahead. Keep going.
Just the sheer fact he's going to be seeing a good portion of the target share there, especially in the first few weeks while
Golden Tate.
Golden Tate's out.
And they've said that Evan Ingram's going to be a huge part of the offense. We don't read too much into those blurbs, but
Right.
I believe it.
and he's
Buy
coming
it.
off the board as tight end between 5 and 10.
Which is crazy to me. But yeah, he's going to see a huge target share. Barring injury, he's going to be up there. And having him outside of Kelsey.
That barring injury part is why he's going 5 to 10.
Right.
But he stays healthy.
I'd be 100% happy to have him on my championship squad.
I agree 100%.
I mean, I'll take, outside of Kelsey and Kittle, yes.
Right.
I'd still take Ingram up Kittle.
But the price you got to pay, the price you're getting Evan Ingram at, and him being a fantasy difference maker for you, I absolutely.
I mean,
love,
3 to
love
5
that.
rounds later.
Yeah,
That's my whole point.
his upside is that of those two guys.
I agree.
So, love that.
It's like later on when like my quarterback, he's obviously not the top one, but you're going to get him like 5 rounds later possibly. So
Yep.
Just glad to have some Neil back in the house after that one. I was skeptic. I was like, God dang it, man, Neil's coming.
Same.
that SOB.
Now I feel better. That heavy metal listening son of a bitch.
Yep.
You know what? It's still a family show, but they say bitch on network TV, so I'm okay saying it.
Please quit cursing.
Gee, dogs football. Hux, give me an MVP.
Any position?
Any position.
I'll go with my wide receiver MVP, Kenny Galladay.
Oh man, I love that too.
I didn't
think Lambert was here today.
I own Galladay in our league of record now, so Lambert's been trying to get him back. Not often, just he drops a little hit
On
here and
occasion.
there.
Hey, what are you doing, Galladay?
He sticks the tip in on a little trade offer, a little trade dabbling.
So Galladay, you think that the Detroit Lions still pass enough to be relevant as far as fantasy goes, and Kenny Galladay is the main recipient?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I could see, 90 catches, 1,200 yards. I mean, and where he's drafted at, almost the same with like Ingram. Where he's drafted at.
Yeah,
I think
slightly
he is.
behind Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
you can get
so, I
Galladay,
mean,
fifth round? Fifth round, I believe.
Sixth round. Probably, fifth round. So, I mean, and he can produce with them guys that are up there. I think he could have Mike Evans numbers.
I agree with you.
I mean,
Wide receiver 19 according to Fantasy Pros ADP.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to find out this week because they're playing the Cardinals. So if he doesn't blow it up this week, and who it is, right?
You can get him behind the names of Tyler Lockett, Edelman, Robert Woods, Amari Cooper. I think that's. I think the spot that he's in is somewhat correct because he hasn't had a massive season yet. But I agree with Hux. This is the massive season.
I think for just the same as him, I think Carrion's going to have the same impact the most.
It'll get back to you, Neil. Calm down.
I'm not going to mention him later. I'm done for running back.
Neil Crab Arms over here. Arms, who you got? Give me an MVP.
Darius Geis.
Oh, Lord. This is the first one I'm not sure of.
Running back number 28.
Okay.
On the team?
Okay.
No.
With the 45 running backs we've spoken about 4 or 5 times now?
He's running back 28 coming off the board. He's got the starting nod. Obviously, the question marks his health, but there was a lot of people that like Darius Geis almost, right there with Saquon Barkley coming out last year. I know that Saquon did what Saquon did, and he's obviously instant superstar. But if Geis is 90% of that is a great running back, and to get him as
90%,
to get him as literally that's running back 3 territory.
Don't believe he's going to be 90% of Saquon.
I think
by any means.
I think Darius Geis is going to be matchup proof this year.
I
love Geis, but
the whole team is like,
watch.
Who do I have to worry about? The stable of 30 running backs or Case Keenum? I'm pretty sure they're going to worry about the stable running backs they have there.
Yeah, they're going to. They're wide receivers. You can say what you want about Terry McLaurin.
Still all ifs.
Teams are going to be able to stack the box.
They are so confident in Geis that they're thinking about. They said that Peterson might even be a healthy scratch this week.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Who's going to be? You just going to
Chris
activate Thompson? And typically teams have 3 backs active on game day.
They're going to get pieced up so bad this weekend.
They don't have Samaj P. Ryan there to leech goal line.
No, big time bingo. Joe Mixon goes down. Watch out. but really, you've got to be a dual threat offense, and I think right now, at least until Haskins gets in, it's not a dual threat offense. I think Geis will be good, yards after contact, breaking tackles. I think he'll have a fine season, but I don't think it'll be 90% of Saquon.
Here's my thought. The Washington Redskins right now are better than the Giants were last year.
I don't know about that.
I don't either.
I do. I'm very confident in that. As a team as a whole, guarantee it.
Confidence is key.
I will take the shamble of a man, Eli Manning, over Case Keenum.
Absolutely.
And I will take Saquon over that. And I'll take the paper offensive line, too.
I honestly think Eli could surprise a little bit this year.
Never know.
Hey,
sometimes
I traded a third for him just to get a backup quarterback.
Sometimes the pressure of a top rookie draft pick it can make things happen.
They got Brett Favre's pants lit up.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, there's
his
somebody
Wranglers. Got his Wranglers burning. got his Wranglers on fire.
There's somebody else in fairly recent history that took off because, even Drew Brees, whenever Phillip Rivers came, that's whenever he really lit it up.
Yeah.
Established himself as a star. So
I'll give you my first one. Now mine's on the higher end of the spectrum than what all 3 of you have said. This is still a first round pick, back end of round 1. But I honestly think if you missed out on Hopkins and Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, if he plays, that's a storyline we didn't talk about. He's threatening to not play week 1 if you don't get an extension. I think he's seeing everybody get the money, and he's like, where's my money? But Juju is a league MVP this year. You. I know you were going to go with him. You still can, but Juju. I think if you have Juju on your team, if you nailed him in the back end of round 1 and then turned around and grabbed another guy that's on our MVP list, you're in really good shape. I love Juju this year. I'm okay with passing on the top 3 or 4 wide receivers if I can get Juju.
I honest to God, since we've got the same guy at wide receiver.
You've been saying it for
we have
Juju.
I have it right down right here, Juju also.
I sincerely think that he's going to be the number 1 fantasy wide receiver this year. I don't know if he's going to lead every category, but as a whole, I think he's going to be the top overall fantasy receiver in PPR. Which, if you're not playing PPR, why are you playing fantasy? So,
love it.
Anyone got a quarterback they'd like to talk about?
Oh, we've got him. Let's move on. Let's move on to Neil before Arms gets started.
Okay.
God, I can't quit. I just can't stop. Hux's addition to the back row has just get. Oh, Arms is getting mad. Okay,
I'm not
Neil,
getting
go
mad.
ahead.
Okay, my running back is Chris Carson, the most disrespected man in the league.
Oh God, I don't agree with that.
Dude,
at all.
He could lose half of his carries at any
Out of
point.
what? 40 carries a game? He can afford to give up
Valid
a couple.
point. Valid point.
And they did the same thing with Mike Davis last year. Dude has done nothing but put up numbers and results, and people are still just spitting on his name. I really don't get it. What does the man have to do?
Freaking trash bag spitting on his name.
And he's like the late teens to early 20s spot in the ADP in running backs, and I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but the caveat is, I know that he's looked better, but once the pads go on and the games start, I still think Rashad Penny is the superior talent.
But why are you writing off something that's already produced instead of a what if?
Because
I don't get that.
because I've seen it happen before.
Whoa.
We've seen guys
Doug
produce.
Martin had produced, and they wrote him
That was
off and
one-
cut his ass.
Gus Edwards, Gus the Gummy Gator Edwards. I mean, there are guys that come out of nowhere and produce. Chris Carson is one of those guys. He's one of those, did not get drafted high because they didn't see the talent. Apparently, he's a hard worker. I'll give him that. And I think he's a good running back. I think the Seahawks are doing the right thing by hopefully following the plan of last year and becoming the most run-heavy team in the league. Give it to Carson and Penny plenty. But I think halfway through the season we could see Penny take 60% to Carson's 35.
That's
So
that's
he's very
crazy talk to me.
comfortable with the 18 carries Carson still gets.
I mean, I have them both.
Yeah.
I have them both on my, in our home league, so I'm not too worried. Regardless of, but still, it's like he's done nothing for producing. People are still just like let's
Okay.
write him off. That's
Okay.
my main gripe there.
Let me remind you, this is fantasy MVPs. Is Chris Carson going to put up over 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns, and some receptions?
Easily
Which
mark it down.
I'm thinking like,
So he's going to match his career year
yeah.
with an emergence of Rashad Penny. Hey, we can't agree
What
on
has
everything.
he done so far, Arms? What has Penny done besides speculation?
Towards the back end of the season, Rashad Penny looked great.
Yes.
He looked great.
And they've got, I know you don't like to hear this, but draft capital. They spent the freaking first rounder on him. That's
why he's gonna see play.
Yeah, they want to give him the shot to be the man.
That'll be the most true timeshare in the league is those two guys. And I understand it's a value either way. If I had them both on my team, I saw you make the comment, I'll start them both.
Yeah, I have them both.
Absolutely would start them both, but I don't know if it's fantasy MVP. Hux, fantasy MVP, who you got?
Man, you're really punted running back if you're starting both those guys. Sorry.
I think,
Since we're on running backs.
I'd be okay starting them both if I had a stacked lineup elsewhere.
Can I talk? Am I good to go? Arms?
Can you talk?
Arms?
I'm
Good?
holding up the quiet sign, guys.
Okay.
Okay. And this
That's
is just,
gracious of him. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Hux.
my running back MVP is Dalvin Cook, and obviously this is just based on him staying healthy. But
Where's the Hux? I must be the wrong one button. Where's that?
Just
at?
use mine.
No. Keep going.
I mean, the new offense coordinator they got, Stefanski,
I
with
must
the
be
help
the wrong
of
one. Sorry, I tried to base it up for you guys.
with the they brought Kubiak in also, so they get that zone scheme. I think Dalvin fits that really well. They're gonna be he's gonna be more of a focal point. They're gonna be more of a run first team, is what they want to do anyways. And I could see him with 50 catches, over 1,000 yards. And I would like to see this guy get 16 games in. I think
So with the Vikings.
well, yeah, I mean obviously, but I mean a 16-game season, I think he's a fantasy MVP.
Plus, the Vikings don't want Kirk Cousins swinging into that much either anymore.
I like Dalvin, to be honest. If he stays on the field, I think you could be right. But I have my reservations. And it's not for two at the Hilton. I have my reservations.
I mean, you should. The guy can't stay healthy.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, he's my quarterback fantasy MVP.
Don't like that at all.
But he's
Worst one so far.
since he's been a starter, he's never dropped out of the top 10.
At least Hux picked the Florida State guy, which made sense for him.
So you're gonna say that Kirk Cousins is a league winner?
I'm saying he's quarterback 18 off the board.
A league winner?
That means people are picking their backups before you can get Kirk Cousins.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that could be. I don't know.
Okay, if I can, at the 15th, 18th round, get Kirk Cousins, and get top 10 production, I'm ecstatic.
Well,
other than
happy,
last
but
year,
I don't know if that's an MVP.
Yeah, but other than last year, if I'm not mistaken, he was always generally around top 6. The guy's an absolute stud. He gets no respect. Everyone thinks that they're going to have, the Vikings want to run first. Okay, you still have Adam Thielen, and you still have Stephon Diggs. You're just going to let those guys go out there and waste away nothing? No, they're going to sling the damn football like they always have. Everywhere Kirk Cousins go, they sling the football, and he's got the best receivers he's ever had.
That's why they fired their offensive coordinator last year, DeFilippo, is because they was passing too much.
And I love Kirk Cousins too. I'm one of his biggest fanboys, but they got Cook back. So I think numbers will
not
be
concerned about that. But you're still also predicting 50 catches for Kirk,
right.
or for Cook.
Oh, I mean,
Cousins is going to have a good year.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have a good year. I just don't know about MVP.
He's going to be top 10, and you're getting him around quarterback 18.
There's going to be a lot of guys in the top 10 that you're getting around.
That's what I'm going for.
18.
It's all about relevance, where you can get these guys at.
There's going to be 10 quarterbacks in the top 10, Barker. 10, 9 of them after Kirk Cousins.
Half of those are going to be picked 15th or after.
All right, no.
And how come you took the quarterback? We're on
Patrick
running back.
Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees. At that point, you only have 3 more names to go.
There are guys that are there.
Throw Russell Wilson back in there. You got 2 more names to go. Give me the other half of the guys that are going to be picked after quarterback 15.
In the offense, Jameis Winston has a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Has a chance.
With the running ability, Lamar Jackson has a chance. You can't count Tom Brady out. Jimmy Garoppolo has a chance. Derek Carr, honestly, I think he has a chance. Matthew Stafford could resurge and have a chance. Jacoby Brissett, yes, I said it, could have a chance. There are guys in there that could move up the board from where they're getting taken and have really good seasons. I just think there are better picks that you could have later.
But has any of them done it with the consistency that Kirk Cousins has?
I'm done talking about Kirk Cousins. You can keep talking about him. I'm just going to – I'm out on this one.
Anyhow, someone else go.
You named my guy, actually, Baker Mayfield.
Kirk Cousins?
No, Baker Mayfield. Now, the reason I say Baker Mayfield is because we had talked, you and I specifically, Arms, that Baker Mayfield was, a fifth round selection?
Something like that.
But we thought that because of the hype of the Browns that we would start seeing him go in the 3rd round.
Yep.
Something like that. I've not seen it. I've participated in quite a few drafts lately because of these damn listener leagues that I started, which will be fun, but damn it.
His ADP's fit, according to my fantasy leagues, 53.5, 53.32.
And I think that's a steal. I think this is a guy that could challenge Mahomes for one.
I think you're on drugs.
I think he
I think he'll be in the top 5, but
Listen,
I don't think he challenges for one.
26 touchdowns as a rookie. You bring in Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying okay.
I'll take my odds on Kirk Cousins being a top 5 quarterback versus Baker Mayfield being top 2.
Okay, let me go in this direction. Baker Mayfield, do you think he has a chance to unseat Deshaun Watson as the 2?
Maybe,
Yes.
but I'm not confident in it.
Does he have a chance to be better than Aaron Rodgers this year?
I'm not confident in it. But these are guys who have done it.
I get that, but Patrick Mahomes is not a veteran in the league. But yet we saw an amazing. Okay, Patrick Mahomes set for a year, comes in year 2 and lights the world on fire.
Yep.
Baker didn't even sit for a year. Baker came in and lit the world on fire, not to the degree of Patrick Mahomes, but year 2, you can't deny.
I mean, nobody's ever done what Patrick Mahomes has done.
A leap for Baker is possible. I think the 2 best long-term quarterbacks in the league are Mahomes and Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker. Don't get me wrong. It's just where you got me was the challenge of Mahomes for one.
I think it's possible.
I guess with the built-in regression that I've shared about 15-ish.
Waiting for you to talk about that.
15-ish down every time someone breaks 45, other than Drew Brees at one time. But I mean, could I see Baker getting around 40? Yeah, I could.
And you see Baker getting around, or Patrick getting around 42, right?
In the range.
Okay. Neil, who you got?
I'm angry right now, but still.
You're what?
Angry.
Angry about
I
what?
understand. But my quarterback is going to be this value picked, and I'd be happy to have him all year long. Is Big Ben.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I think the numbers going to be there. He's going to keep chugging along. Most likely, we'll get a week 1 win against the Pats also.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He led the league in passing yards last year, didn't he?
I believe.
But first or second.
Yeah, I believe he led it in passing yards, but obviously not touchdowns.
I won't keep talking over, but you bringing up Ben, it says on Fantasy Pros he's QB 11 ADP wise. I've been seeing him available in almost the back third.
And it's crazy to me, like the ADP on him.
I think it's simply because of age.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you're drafting Dynasty, that makes a little more sense.
It does, but I mean, if you're drafting Dynasty and you grab a young guy like Carson Wentz halfway through the draft and followed up by a Ben Roethlisberger is really good insurance later on that you're going to win a title, I like the pick.
Yeah, I'm going to start him, jam him in because he's tough as nails. He's not going. He's barring like him getting hit by a truck. He's going to start all games.
Dude is the slowest, hard to sack guy in the league.
Yep.
He runs like a 5.5 40, but by God, his movement in that 4x4 tackle box is just insane.
Didn't the dude like wreck a motorcycle and dive through a street sign and just he's still playing football?
He doesn't care.
Just dusted it
He
off.
just don't care. I mean, he's basically like a T2 from Terminator. He just the molten metal of Ben Roethlisberger melds back together.
He's Bruce Willis from Unbreakable.
Man, I used to hate the guy, but all you can do is respect him from here on out.
Do you think he bench presses paint cans?
Yeah.
Me too. I like that pick. I'm not intentionally bashing.
I don't
on the
really
arms,
care if you are.
But give me Ben Roethlisberger, which I've seen later than Kirk Cousins.
Hell, he finished just like the number 2 or 3 fantasy quarterback last year. You've got to know that. No, I agree with your pick. I think it's a good pick. He's terribly underdrafted at 12. I will say that.
Let me interrupt the episode real quick just to tell you about our sponsor for the show, MyBookie. If you found $100 on the street, would you pick it up or keep walking? Of course, you'd take the money. So why do you keep picking winners and not betting on them? That's why I, Bark, go to MyBookie. It's fast, it's easy, and they pay when you win. Let's face it, where you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on. I wouldn't be telling you guys to bet with them if they weren't the best. So do the smart thing in 2019. If you're going to bet this football season, bet with MyBookie. Join now, and MyBookie will double your first deposit just by using the promo code BACK, BACK, will activate the offer. You'll get double your first deposit. So MyBookie.com, sponsor of this episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Double your money and then bet and double it again. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. MyBookie.
Sorry.
What you got, Hux?
Well, I'm going to go with Cam Newton as my quarterback pick.
Arms' favorite.
Arms hates Cam Newton.
Even the ball blast girls are getting hot on Cam.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think
And
you
they
can
don't
see
like
his. I think you can see his best year ever. I mean, he's got his best weapons around him.
You're right.
Samuel and DJ Moore.
I guess they're both better than Steve Smith.
Are gonna
I'm sorry.
as overall.
Sorry, I just had to throw it in there.
overall offense is the best.
Muhammad's great too.
Anyways, I think
better
the
than
talent
D'Angelo
around him was
Lee.
better, and I think a full season out of him, he could be top 3.
New hashtag Angry Hux.
He's so mad. All right.
I agree with you 100%.
But his best season's like 3,700 damn yards. I mean, that's just not that great.
He runs for
I mean,
touchdowns.
is passing yards all that matters?
No,
it's the
but
whole package.
If that was the case, Lamar Jackson would not be. I would not be grabbing Lamar Jackson everywhere I could.
And my boy
passing
Josh
yards.
Allen too. I'll go Josh Allen for the same reason. So
4,051 is his best year,
is it okay?
oh yeah, that's terrible.
What
boys.
what
which
do you-
was his rookie year.
What's the running yards on that?
What do you have,
too?
like 27
And
touchdowns?
he had 709 rushing yards his rookie year.
Yeah,
Go with his
that's
4,000
awful,
passing
man.
yards.
Terrible.
Give me Kirk Cousins.
Other than that,
Shoot, man. I hate Randall.
Yardage
Cunningham.
wise, I mean, that was his best. But
Oh, yeah, terrible.
He had 35 passing touchdowns in 2015.
Steve
to
Young.
go with,
Steve
to go
Young.
with,
But-
to
but-
go with 10 rushing touchdowns.
but
that
other
year.
than that, what was the second highest? Like 21?
24.
Other than that, what's
Okay.
the next best year?
No.
I mean, how many
But
years do you want me to give?
Steve
Okay,
Young.
so-
Steve Young just sucked.
So we're
Didn't he?
talking about 1 year of being truly great.
Fantasy.
I'm
Fantasy.
sorry, but I'll take half the guys below him before I'll take Cam Newton. Let someone else waste their
Who are you
pick.
taking? Fitzmagic over him?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Give me Kyler freaking Murray over him.
Wow, you're a Kyler Murray hater.
You're
You just said
right.
that. Wow.
I don't even like Newton, but the fact that he deserves the fantasy recognition, rush yards and all that.
Listen. His style plays catching up to him. That's my biggest qualm with Cam is his style play catch up with him.
Disagree.
He's been banged up.
The only qualm with him is his
Year after-
toughness and his his dressing. That's
He
it.
dresses like an independent 60-year-old lady.
They're saying that his throwing is better than it's ever been, and I believe it.
Okay.
You give me the weapons of Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. I'm a big Ian Thomas fan. Now, there's not a lot of people talking about him.
when
but
he gets his chance, yeah.
when he gets his chance, which is going to be soon because Greg Olson, he'll hurt his foot again.
He
or
made a paper
something will
mache,
happen.
I mean.
Yeah. Well, no, Greg Olson was
At this point.
That's
That's just a hurricane thing.
I mean,
They always get hurt.
osteoporosis has really worked its way into Greg Olson.
right. But Cam has more possibilities for passing touchdowns now, and Cam's still going to be Cam. He's still going to take off the dress and run in for a touchdown. He's still going to do it.
You have to rip it off to show the S.
He's still going to shed that big old ass sun hat and run in from 5 yards out for a touchdown. It's going to happen. I like it. Now,
Give me Phillip Rivers 3 rounds later.
is that your? Well, I mean,
Yeah, he already said Kirk Cousins. It's not his
I
name.
know. Go different.
Phillip Rivers is above Kirk Cousins.
To be fair, Rivers going to take off a couple games
be
for another
fair.
childbirth. You know what I mean? He's like child number 10.
No doubt.
Give me a different position there, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Dude's pull-out game's
What about
terrible.
your running back since you skipped that one?
Right.
No, I started with that one.
We're bouncing
Oh,
around.
did you?
Yeah,
Who was
guys.
it?
I started the
Oh,
tight end.
that's why
so-
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Man, for all the talking he does, Hux, you sure don't pay a damn bit of attention to him.
No doubt. Tight end, O.J. Howard.
I don't hate it.
I think he can challenge for that, making an elite 3, or if Ingram.
He's in the same level as Ingram almost.
Yeah, and right now I do think there's an elite 2. I think it's Kelsey and Kittle. I think Ertz is kind of by himself as a second tier, and then it's O.J. Howard and Evan Ingram as that number 3 tier. And I think O.J. has the talent if he can stay healthy, with some chemistry built in with Jameis. I think he can get right there, break 1,000 yards, 10, 12 touchdowns, and have an excellent season. And we've mentioned this before on the show. There's a ton of targets left with Humphreys leaving. You guys all texting each other? What the hell are you doing?
No,
Arms is terrible. That's what we're saying.
No, I don't. I think that's a solid pick.
I really like OJ Howard. I didn't get to name my tight end earlier. I went Mark Andrews, kind of a value guy, but I really think Lamar Jackson's going
Would
to
you
lean on
just
him.
skip me, Hux?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crime.
Sorry, I
Right.
just really want to get my time in today.
Last I saw, I ran this bitch, and now I'm just getting. I'm going home.
I'll give you some props here. You are home. I'll give you some props here on this, Hux. Andrew's coming off the board, excuse me, after Kyle Rudolph and Greg Olson and Trey Burton.
Burton,
So, yeah, and
Delaney Walker. I mean, he's following up past all
Austin
these guys.
freaking Hooper.
Yeah. So, I think Andrews is going to be Lamar Jackson's guy.
I'm going to save some face. I agree with you because he would be my tight end.
I mean, he could finish 5. I think he should finish 5th, 6th in that area. And for where you're getting him drafted, that's tremendous.
I think he's a
value.
lock at top 10. Man,
lock top 10.
he's a
easily, I
lock
think.
top 10. I'm not going to give 5th or
agree.
6th, but I think he's 8th, 9th, 10th. Something like that
I'm
range.
going to concede
Which
my
is close,
tight end.
obviously.
I'm going to concede my tight end talk time to Hux because I agree with him.
I mean, because you got Hunter Henry as the de facto 6,
No, thanks.
he's going to play 4 games. So
No thanks. All right, I'm going to bounce it back over to me. Anything else on Mark
If he's
Andrews?
lucky,
Because
but-
I love that pick. So if you have anything to add, I love hearing about some
that
Mark
was an arms
Andrews.
guy.
It was, yeah. He'll let you know it every time.
Yeah. Nothing else to add. I just think it's a great value.
Since
pick.
we're playing this game, pretty sure I turned you on to Darius Leonard.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We
all have our guys.
You turned me on Darius Leonard
After you go to
after the draft. I talked about him a lot before the draft.
Did you?
Yes.
I'm gonna be doing some
Go
episode
look it up.
research.
some cataloging.
Go look it up.
I bet he's like Leonard Floyd, and I'm like, arms. That wasn't Darius Leonard. You said Leonard Floyd.
They are not even the same year.
Just saying.
Not even in the same year, but all right.
Anyways, so I'm gonna go way out on a limb with my next fantasy MVP. You can grab this guy 5th or 6th round as well, which for a running back, if he turns out to be a top 5, is gold. Mr. Big Chest, Antonio Brown, is just really making us all doubt that he's going to play a full season.
I'm trying to pull, something just popped up on about him. I was trying to figure out what the hell
I'm sure it did. It's every 8 hours something new about Antonio Brown comes out, but Josh Jacobs is going to get one hell of a workload. But if Antonio Brown messes up again, they already said when they were planning on suspending him that the offense was going to run through Josh Jacobs. It'll be running through Josh Jacobs after about week 4 or 5. I'm not saying Antonio Brown will be down and out, but he's going to do something. He's going to miss some games due to suspension or team, discipline.
Suspension.
Something's going to happen. Josh Jacobs is going to be he's a fantasy MVP for where he's drafted for me right now. You're getting a guy that could get 75% of the workload.
Easily will.
Right off the rip. And he's going running back 17.
I was going to say,
Aaron Jones, give me Jacobs. Chris Carson, give me Jacobs. Damian Williams, give me Jacobs. Leonard Fournette, give me Jacobs. Dalvin Cook, give me Jacobs. I'm taking Jacobs over Dalvin Cook.
My fantasy league has Josh Jacobs as 19th, and slightly above him is Derrick Henry and Marlon Mack. Obviously,
Jacobs.
Give me Jacobs.
And I'm not saying the Raiders are going to have a great offense, but volume's going to be there for Jacobs. They made him a first-round pick. Capital's going to be a part of it.
Same thing with Rashad Penny. Just throwing that out there. Sorry. Anyhow.
Disagreements, agreements. Arms obviously agrees with me.
Obviously. My only concern with Jacobs is the concern that most of the league has. He's never carried the full workload. Here's the thing. He's built to do it. That's what I see with it. I think he absolutely can do it.
And as Cam Newton would say, he's just built.
Yeah, the volume's definitely going to be there, so it'll be interesting to see what he does.
Especially against week 1 against the Bengals, too.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to just roll them.
I can't wait.
Oh, no. Okay, so I see what you're talking about with Antonio Brown. He posted on YouTube a recorded phone conversation with John Gruden. Dude is messed up. give me Jacobs all day long. Okay, guys, should we play this? I think.
Yeah.
I honestly,
because hell's breaking at this point.
I think we need to do this.
We're going to hear about it as soon as you guys do. Actually, a little bit before you guys do.
I was not expecting this. So somebody give me a little bit of A/B talk as I'm queuing this up.
Well, he's arguably the best wide receiver in football, and he finds a way to get open despite his size. He's just also a complete moron and can't keep his mouth shut.
Okay.
Everything. There's nothing to hate about his game. Everything to hate about who he is, though. And that's so frustrating. It's kind of like having Tyreek Hill on your team. You hate the person he is, but you just really like the production you get.
How hard are the Steelers just laughing? I know that's
hysterically.
All right, here we go. Let's see if this cues it up correctly. All right.
I'm play an ad.
Hey, D.
Yep.
Antonio, coach is on the line.
Hey, B.
Coach.
Hello. Yo, what's up, Coach?
What the hell's going on, man?
Just a villain all over the news, man.
Is Antonio all right?
He didn't behave like this before he started getting this money.
There's something wrong
This is
with
clearly edited.
Antonio Brown has been an absolute embarrassment.
You're not a villain. You're the most misunderstood fucking human being in my entire life that I've ever met. I mean, I brought you here because you're my favorite guy. I've never seen a guy work hard. And I don't know where you are in your life right now, office to. All I know is you got a lot of things going. There's a lot of people that have an opinion about you. And whether it be good or bad, you're in the spotlight all the time. Let me ask you this, do you want to be a Raider or not?
I've been trying to be a Raider since day one. I've been fucking working my ass off harder than anyone. I don't know why it's a question of me being a Raider. Like, do you guys want me to be a Raider?
Please stop this shit and just play football. How hard is it, man? You're a great football player. Just play football.
Yeah, but I'm more than a football player, man. I'm a real person. It ain't about the football. I know how to do that. I show you guys there on the daily. This is my life. Ain't no more games.
Okay, so Antonio Brown posted this on YouTube, and I'm sorry you couldn't see it, but it was a montage of Antonio Brown swimming in a pool. Like, he made a professionally edited, he had to have hired somebody for this because this is like a commercial, but the commercial's narration is John Gruden saying, like, man, just play football. This is ridiculous. There's something majorly wrong with this
guy's
dude.
definitely got some mental issues.
Let me ask you this based on what you heard.
Wow.
Is this Antonio Brown, like, is he trying to put he was the man here? Because to me, what I heard John Gruden say, do you want to be a Raider or not? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. You're a damn good football player. We want you on our team.
We brought you here because you're a hard worker, but you're messing it up. Is basically, and all Antonio Brown can say is like, I'm more than just a football player. Well, yeah, everybody in the NFL is more than just a football player,
except for Tom Brady.
But, dude, I urge the three of you here with me and everyone listening, go watch this YouTube video Antonio Brown posted, because if you didn't think CTE was a possibility before, you will now. Josh Jacobs, 2019 for president. Peace signs thrown up. Dude's lost it.
Oh yeah,
he's lost it. He's John Gruden's okay. Here it is. I'm sorry we interrupted our MVP calls. Gruden's going to be pissed off after this that he recorded the phone call, 1, and 2, posted on YouTube with a montage of only Antonio Brown video clips, and it's new video clips. It's like, this is stuff that he probably had a cameraman come over like, hey man, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube, record me in the pool. It's crazy. Gruden's gonna be pissed tomorrow. This whole thing's gonna blow up again.
I just feel like he's right now, and listen, as a Raiders fan, I feel like they're trying to move in the right direction. Like, they made some just what a lot of people call questionable decisions. Obviously, trading Khalil Mack is questionable. You know, Amari Cooper, it is what it is. But now Antonio Brown, like, you get traded there, you get out of Pittsburgh, which is what you wanted. And, man, it's like he's trying to get traded or cut from the Raiders.
Yeah. We can't even make it through a full freaking show without Antonio Brown interrupting.
Can't make through a full...
So apparently reports are that John Gruden was truly amused by it and even thought it was awesome of the YouTube video.
Are you kidding me?
No, that was reported by Chris Mortensen.
I'd be upset. I would be upset. 1, that you recorded my phone call. That's where it starts with me.
That also might be a known thing, though. That might be...
Oh, John, you cool if I record this?
No.
For YouTube?
No, hear me out. Whenever you've got somebody who had... Dude, I think back to, like, what was it, Howard Hughes, the eccentric billionaire who, was very reclusive. Like, I'm sure he's it's CTE. I'm telling you, I agree with you 100%. It's CTE. There's something, he's paranoid, and he's probably recording every damn conversation.
Man.
And that's probably a known thing. Every time someone calls him, he's his agent or whoever it was answered the phone probably was like, it's all recorded, right?
So I gave listeners and Twitter followers the opportunity to call in and give us an MVP candidate. Just Me FF, a guy I love following. He follows us. We follow him. He's always chiming in. Thank you for that. At Just Me and a bunch of numbers. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read them all. He says Nick Chubb. I have no problem with that. Andrew Harbaugh, who's been on the show before, great dude. He says AB with a laughing face, so that kind of fits in perfectly. But yeah, crazy. Let's name an IDP guy for IDP purposes that could be an IDP MVP, and then we'll move on to our game picks. Well, Neil, go ahead.
Well, I'll go with my linebacker I always pick, and that's Bobby Wagner. He's old, he's hurt, so he's getting drafted later.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, because he's old and he's always hurt.
Yeah. He's not always hurt.
I love Bobby Wagner.
Once again, like where he's getting drafted at, he's gonna put up numbers. I love him to death. He's solid. I'm not going to try to go on a limb and say anybody else besides him because I trust him.
Sticking with linebacker, I'm going to go with Roquan Smith. I called it before the season. I think he's going to be a top 3 linebacker.
Well, yeah, he's definitely going to be. But you're also paying a premium for him.
Are you? Because he's getting drafted as linebacker 13.
Which is crazy. That's stupidity.
I mean, 10th, 12th round. Yeah.
Is he really?
There's no way.
Not in our leagues.
Yeah,
not in our leagues.
Not in our IDP savvy leagues.
In IDP, like people know what they're doing. He's probably top 3 linebacker off the board.
I don't know about
as he
top
should
3.
be. Why shouldn't he?
No. He'll finish. I think he's got. I mean, drafted as top 3.
Obviously,
I've
Leonard.
not seen that.
So you see Leonard, Wagner, C.J. Mosley, Van Der Esch in the top 4 typically.
Yeah.
But I mean, Roquan getting
5 is like where I see.
Yeah, I
him.
can see. Yeah, you're right.
But Roquan at 13 is disrespectful. I mean,
It is.
He's going to
That's
be
wrong. That's wrong. I'd shut the league down.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, why would you? Because you could have drafted him at that point.
We are one of those idiots that let him drop to 13, right?
Yeah, you're one of the idiots that let him drop to 13. What are you doing?
Instead of trading up to get him.
Hux IDP MVP.
My linebacker, I went Jalen Smith.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one there.
I like that too.
I like Jalen Smith.
Hey, he's got his money. He's done. He's done now.
I like that.
Hey, there's a reason I didn't go with Mike Thomas as the wide receiver MVP. Just saying, he got his money. I don't think he's going to do quite what he's done.
Who you got, Arms?
What are we talking about?
IDP MVP. Oh, you went Roquan, didn't you? I'm sorry.
Roquan at linebacker.
So we got Roquan, we got Jalen, we got
Bobby
Wagner. I'm since you guys went with some big names, even though I think they're all excellent choices, I'm gonna go with the guy that I've been touting all off season. Can anybody guess?
Sam Hubbard.
No. Hux,
The middle linebacker from the Steelers.
Nope.
Is it Raekwon McMillan?
You only get one guess, Arms. God, how much talk time do you need?
No one's guessing.
Is it a linebacker?
It is. Do you got to guess? 5, 4, 3,
Corey Littleton.
2. No. Josie Jewell. Josie Jewell, you can get him at the end.
Nobody would
At the end of draft.
He's also still running his 40.
Well, yeah. That's okay, though. Zach Thomas didn't run a fast 40 either. Josie Jewell, year 2 in Denver. Denver lets Brandon Marshall go. They don't draft a rookie. They don't bring a free agent. They take a late round draft pick from last year out of Iowa named Josie Jewell, plug him into the starting lineup. Telling you right now, Josie Jewell's going to finish as a top 15 linebacker. And it's strictly based off the fact that he's a football player. He's not an athlete. He's a football player like Zach Thomas. He's going to be an MVP kind of guy because if you plug him in as your linebacker 3, you're going to be happy. Let's go to sits and starts. Unless Antonio Brown interrupts us again.
I will toss in Sam Hubbard for the price.
I do love that. I love Sam Hubbard.
I mean, the guy, I literally picked him up in free agency in a 12-team, like yesterday.
I drafted him probably way too high in the league the other day, but I was afraid he wouldn't fall. He's a guy I believe in. I believe in Sam Hubbard through and through. I think he finishes as a top 10 defensive end that you can get at DE 30 prices.
Yeah, I mean,
30, 40?
6 or 8 sacks last year with under 30% snap count,
Limited
which is ridiculous.
snaps, yeah.
So, anyhow, sits and starts.
I wish I had a sounder. It's time for game picks for week 1. I guess that works. All right, Neil,
You could have
first.
recorded that. Well, you did record that technically.
Yeah, I can always cut it out. Neil, give me some sits and starts. You don't have to go team by team. Ain't nobody got time for that. You can just give me sits and starts, guys you love, guys you don't this week.
Well, I spoke before the game. You're obviously going to say sit Tyreek Hill, but I don't see him being that great this weekend. He's going to be getting covered by Jalen Ramsey.
How about that extension real quick? It's a lot of faith. Tyreek Hill gets signed an extension.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind.
Me too.
I did.
Yeah,
there's obviously going to be
Scary.
something written in that contract.
There's
got to be.
There's a lot of guaranteed money in it, though.
But it's a clause, obviously.
First time you smack a bitch, it's over. I hope that's
And
written
you've said
in.
bitch a lot this.
Seriously.
Quit being a bitch, Hux. Okay,
Okay, but anyway, if you're like in a like a DraftKings format or actually the super deep wide receiver, you could probably actually afford to sit Hill in this matchup. Because the game last year, he pretty much got dominated for besides like one pass.
and he's getting Ramsey all game long.
Exactly, all game long. So if you're somewhat deep at wide receiver, you can almost afford to sit him.
But
I
Arms,
put down Tyreek Hill also,
Can you
but I
sit
mean
your-
it's
Can
Yeah.
you sit your stud? Though?
You
Are
can't
you
sit
really
your
going
stud.
to?
You normally can't, but I'm talking. I'm prefacing by saying if you have like say another guy that can just get you at 10 to 14 maybe.
If you're deep.
yeah,
if you're deep.
if it's a 10-team league and
what
you're
she
loaded
said.
at receiver,
Yeah.
it's possible.
That's what she said. If you're deep, I can't sit Tyreek even against Jalen. I mean, if you are sitting Tyreek, it means you got one hell of a start. Three wide receivers in front of him.
Yeah.
Hux, give me a sit start. Either or. We'll just go run it that way.
We'll start with sits.
Okay.
Just sit.
Any position?
Any position. That's
or you want me to stick with wide receiver?
No. Okay. Whatever you want to say.
I'm going to sit Derrick Henry this week.
Same.
Just think Cleveland blows them out. I'm not really sure if Henry sees much action. If they get behind, Deion Lewis is going to take over. Well, should take over passing downs. So that's just going on that game script. I think he doesn't see much action.
I like that.
To add on to it, the Browns are legitimate and they're healthy.
Oh yeah, I mean Browns have a top 5 defense. I think.
I mean, but they had a lot of question mark at linebacker last year because both of them were injured the biggest part of the year. I mean, they've done nothing but improve that defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I'm 100% with you there.
7-9.
I will go to
something goes terribly wrong.
They were
if they go
0-16 the year before, right? Leave them alone. I'm gonna sit David Njoku in the same game. The Titans only allowed 2 touchdowns to tight ends in 2018. That defense, another year under Vrabel as head coach, it's just going to improve. I mean, I think that I don't know if you can get better than only 2 touchdowns to tight ends year over year, but I just don't think this is a game where Njoku shines out.
I like that too. I'm sitting Leonard Fournette, and not just because I'm not a big truther of Leonard Fournette, but they play the Chiefs. Even if Jalen shuts down Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman is a guy that I honestly am starting to think will outperform expectations.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins is still there. The Chiefs still have Patty Mahomes. I think Patty Mahomes is going to try to make a statement in week 1. And I think that Leonard Fournette, he's not a pass-catching back. Jaguars are going to have to throw the ball, which leads me to a start. Dede Westbrook. Absolute start this week. But sitting Leonard Fournette. You got another sit for me, Neil?
Not currently, I do not.
Well, hell. Okay, Hux?
I'm going to go to my quarterbacks here. I'm going to go Matt Stafford. I'm going to sit him this week. Honestly, I like Arizona to win the game.
I don't see that at all.
I think Kyler Murray with Kingsbury, I think they're going to want to make a statement.
This offense we don't know about yet.
I just think they're going to come out and try to make a statement, and I think they're going to win the game, and I think the whole team steps up.
So no garbage time passing
yardage. I mean, it could happen, but I just think Stafford, I don't know.
I mean,
I'd sit him.
He was bad last year.
Okay.
And they want, I mean, it's really going to be interesting to see because the Cardinals are going to probably run one of the fastest paced offenses in the league. The Lions run one of the slowest paced offenses in the league. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out.
I just want the Lions to be good. I'm sick of seeing them be trash.
Why?
I agree. I kind of want to see Lions have been in the basement for so long.
It's like your team we talk about since like Winston Sigo.
Yeah.
It gets old.
Miami.
I just want to see if the Raiders would be good again. Damn it.
They've had more success than the Dolphins.
They got Antonio Brown now. They might be all right.
Do they? Do they? That's on thin ice. I'm going to go ahead and sit Matt Ryan. I mean, in the theory of waiting on quarterback, you should have another quarterback that's, capable. Yeah, this really isn't about Matt Ryan as much as it is about the Vikings. According to ProFootballReference.com, the Vikings only allowed 15 passing touchdowns to quarterbacks last year. 15 in a whole year. That's less than 1 a game. I mean, what more do you need than to know that, all right, yeah, obviously Julio's a stud, but he's questionable. He may not play this week based on contract situations.
This is more target shares for Calvin Ridley.
Which is a start of mine.
I've got him in almost every startup I joined this year.
I think Calvin Ridley, I do think he balls out. I'll go ahead and transition into that. But the only player on that offense that balls out to me is going to be Calvin Ridley.
And Calvin Ridley's an absolute start this week.
Absolutely.
I'll throw that in there. As far as one of my sits of the week, Sony Michel. I don't think the Patriots are going to grind out the game against the Steelers. I think this game turns into a shootout. Sony Michel's not their passing down back. This is not the week for me to be starting Michel. Just throwing it out there. Don't like Sony Michel this week. Later on in the season, sure. Week 2, maybe. But against the Steelers, I think this is going to be one of your top shootout games of the week. I'm not confident in Sony Michel.
And there's a lot of people wanting to set James White this week too, and I think he's gonna be integral in this game for that very reason. Where it's gonna be a shootout.
I mean, the guy does nothing but catch footballs. Why ever sit him? Honestly.
Because they run like 10 running backs.
I understand that, but
and a fullback.
It's so crazy because they have a pass catching capable back in Sony Michel who caught like 2 passes last year. It's stupid.
Yeah, just don't like Michel this week. Let's move on to some starts. Neil, give us one of your top starts of the week.
I'll give my Clemson boy Sammy Watkins on this one for the fact we talked earlier about how Tyreek Hill's going to be getting covered up. I think Sammy will fall right into place there. He has not the best matchup either technically, but Abuye is that it? Yeah. But he'd be the guy I would start, especially for the value, like how much he would cost in DK type of leagues, and where you get him. I'm happy that he's my third wide receiver this week for sure.
Hux,
as you should be.
Give me a start.
Kerryon Johnson.
That's a good one.
Reason being,
Arizona has a bad run defense.
I think a bad everything defense. Actually, their pass defense isn't bad because their run defense is so horrible.
Bad run defense. I think Detroit's just going to want to establish the run. I think he could. The only thing I'm worried about is C.J. Anderson taking goal line carries, but I think he still gets at least 20 touches. Especially if they want to win the game, he's going to easily get 20 touches.
And he's probably their passing down back.
Yeah, he's going to get some targets.
He's going to be a great matchup.
Arms, give us 20 minutes of your first start.
I'm going to start Mark Ingram, and if you are, let's say, a Melvin Gordon owner,
it's a great start.
I'm not afraid to start Justice Hill.
I like both of those. It's Miami.
It's
anybody versus Miami.
It's Miami. I mean, Miami struggled very mightily against the run all year last year.
Until further notice, at least. I mean, we expect Miami to be susceptible to every aspect of every skill position.
They're going to be 1 and 15 or whatever.
They're going to have some rough treading, and my thought process on this
3
is
and 13.
Obviously, Ingram's going to feast, but Justice Hill, and if you had somebody who, let's say, like I said, Melvin Gordon, and you had to pick up a Justice Hill in free agency, don't be afraid to fire him up against this team. I'm not going to say that every week. I guess it depends on how he develops into the year, but I think both of them will have plenty of fantasy production this week. I think 18-ish touches apiece.
It's going to be like 200-plus yards rushing between the three of them, between Lamb, Jack, and the running backs.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Close to 300.
Lamb, Jack, and the running backs. Sounds like a good
I definitely think
name.
Baltimore's going to be able to run the ball, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout like everybody thinks. I think Miami will hang with them.
I don't know about a blowout, but I think the Ravens' backs are going to get enough touches to where it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I definitely like the Ingram pick.
I think Hill's going to have I think he's going to play the Alvin Kamara type role. I don't think it's going to be as prevalent as what Kamara's done, but I think it's going to be fantasy, playable.
This team could get up on Miami at the end of the first quarter and run the heck out of the ball. So I love it both ways. Mark Ingram, Justice Hill. Yeah, love them both. And I was actually excited to give my start of the week, at least from the running back position. It's not going to be super popular, but if you missed out on the top running backs in your draft, but you somehow landed Nyheim Hines,
love him.
I think the Colts with Jacoby Brissett coming into week 1 as the starter, there's some question marks there. I don't think the Colts are going to get up on the Chargers to where they'll be like Marlon Mack all day. The Chargers, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry's back. We're not big fans of Hunter Henry, but we've got to be open to the possibility that he could be good. Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler is going to get a lot more play than he normally does, and what he does best is catch the ball out of the backfield. Justin Jackson may be okay, but Nyheim Hines, the Colts are going to be behind. Nyheim Hines is the passing down back, no question about it. I think you could see a Tariq Cohen-like performance. 8 receptions, 60, 70, maybe 80 yards out of Nyheim Hines. Wouldn't be shocked at a touchdown. So Nyheim Hines, if I don't have 2 studs that you just can't sit, Nyheim Hines is a great plug-and-play this week.
I do agree with that one.
Neil.
I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp on this one. He's slated to be a lot better this year, according to all the beat writers. They said he's more improved at his game.
Please be healthy all year, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jesus Christ, he's good.
I see big things coming this game. Probably a shootout, so that's my pick. I just hope he does stay healthy. But we're talking week 1 here, obviously.
Yeah, so he should make it through this week. Next week,
this week, possibly.
He's questionable next week. Hux?
Go with I don't know, because I was going to name a quarterback, but obviously you don't sit your studs.
Shoot, I said Matt Ryan a minute ago.
Yeah, I mean, I got Matt Ryan as one of my sits also. I like Nick Foles this week. I think you can start him and be happy with it.
I don't disagree with that. It's going to be, they're going
to have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
They have DeFilippo as their offensive coordinator now, who loves to pass the ball. And also, I got D.D. Westbrook as one of my starting wide receivers also. they're going to have to throw the ball if they want to win that game.
Because Fournette's going to be shut down.
I really feel like that team has
I don't know. I like Fournette this week too. That's just me.
A receiver who can be what Allen Robinson was at one point. You know, that 1,400-yard guy. I just don't know which guy it is.
Jimmy Stewart?
Yes, Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith, yeah.
They've got somebody who's going to be a stud.
Ready to say that.
I just don't know which guy it's going to be. My start at running, another start running back here is going to be Duke Johnson.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one there, boys.
There's no scenario that Duke Johnson can't succeed. I mean, the Saints, okay, yeah, they're all right against the run, but, okay, if Houston's behind and they got to pass a lot.
It's going to be a high-scoring game anyway,
exactly.
I believe.
I don't know if Duke Johnson comes off the field more than 15 plays for the whole damn game. I mean, who's going to push him off the field? Carlos Hyde? Okay.
Well, he gets to the good sway. Hopkins is going to be latched up. Then he got Fuller. Then I think he's going to see a lot of open space.
Yeah. So I think particularly in PPR, which is what everyone should be playing because we're adults now, Duke's going to feast. He's going to have an excellent game. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a top 5 back this week.
I hope so.
Is it back on me?
Yes.
I'm excited about this one. Okay, this is a bold prediction. So I do believe in the Browns this season. I'm not going to go Super Bowl talk on them, but I think they're a playoff shoe-in. I really do.
They haven't won the division yet. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And the man is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
100% think the Browns are a playoff team this year. That being said, I think the Browns get up on the Titans pretty quickly. I think the excitement in Cleveland, the leadership of Baker Mayfield, and the pieces they've added on that team, I think they're going to get up on the Titans pretty quickly. That being said, I think the Titans are going, bold prediction here, Titans are going to yank Mariota. They're going to insert Tannehill. Adam Humphries is going to have himself a nice PPR game. Because if Tannehill gets in...
Dude, I'm sitting there like, does he telling us to start Tannehill?
No.
Because this is the dumbest call I've ever heard. I'm about to walk out.
Absolutely not, because the touchdowns aren't going to be there. But the PPR aspect is going to be there, and I think Adam Humphries could catch 8 balls for 100 yards this week.
I feel you on that. I was wondering where you're going for a minute there.
Not Tannehill's startable, but listen, Tannehill's not the worst quarterback in the league. I think you can stream him at certain points if he takes that job from Mariota, because honestly, Tannehill's never had better weapons than Corey Davis, Adam Humphries, and A.J. Brown if he ever gets going, Delaney Walker if he plays, Derrick Henry. I mean, Titans are better than Miami, honestly. So obviously, if Tannehill gets in, I think Adam Humphries is a fine play. That being said, you're not going to be able to start him if you already got a nice, solid starting 3 at wide receiver. But if your draft went a weird way and you ended up with Humphries and you're not sure who to start, Humphries might be worth a go.
I like it.
I mean, if you've got Julio and he's right before game time, I'm not playing. Yeah. Fire up Adam Humphries.
In that situation there, it's like, I need money, like, here you go. They should just go ahead and do it.
Listen, I mean, he's done nothing but kept his mouth shut and be great. Just pay the guy.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's fire up a quarterback real quick. Neil, quarterback start.
Josh Allen. He's going against the Lonely Jets. He pieced him up last year. I think he ran up for over 100 yards last year against them, too. Solid fantasy starter. I love Josh Allen.
Don't hate that at all.
I like the Allen pick.
Is that your pick as well, Hux? You go with
I don't have Josh Allen.
He's going to pick him, though, because Josh Allen's the man.
I do like Josh Allen. I got Jameis wrote down. I think that's going to be a potential shootout there with 49ers.
I like that.
That offense with Bruce Arians, I just think they're going to be – I think that could be one of the best offenses in the league this year.
Yeah, I think Winston's going to have over I think he'll have over 300 yards easily.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to need
easily. They don't have a running game, so
they're going to need somebody to run the ball to at least set up the pass.
Sticking with the same game, Jimmy G. I mean, the Buccaneers were the worst pass defense in the league last year. What changed? What did they get better? Linebacker? That's it? All right. I'm good. Fire up Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. I'm going to throw Carson Wentz out there this week. J-Jaw, Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Miles Sanders, if he gets a chance. Darren Sproles is still there. I think Carson Wentz tries to come out, assert himself as still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. The Redskins, they stay competitive somehow, some way. They've not been a terrible team.
Even with 30 injuries.
Even with 30 injuries, but I do believe that Carson Wentz is going to be a fine start this week at quarterback. Tight end, Neil, let's wrap it up with tight ends.
Well, I'm going to say with the Lions game, I've been iffy on him lately, as much as I loved him. I think Hawkinson might actually get some action in this high-scoring game. So that'd be my sleeper as far as the starting.
Hux?
I don't really have any sleeper for tight end, but I think some of them are obvious, but I got Hunter Henry and Mark Andrews, like I said earlier.
You think Hunter Henry makes through a full game?
Just took my guy.
I think Delaney Walker could be too.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Hunter Henry.
Arms?
Give me some Noah Fant. I mean, the Raiders are bad.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say that.
Listen, I'm a Raiders fan, and we're not good. And until proven otherwise, I have a feeling that there's going to be some Flacco to Fant, and I think it's going to be a productive relationship.
I'm going to go Mark Andrews. Huck kind of took mine from me. The Dolphins, year in, year out, at least in the past, I know it's a different coach, different. They're switching to a 3-4, I believe. But I still think Mark Andrews burns the Dolphins week one, at least to begin with. They're going to get plenty of Andrews. If there's one thing you can say about a running game being dominant, tight ends usually kind of fall into good games when the running game's going well, because on 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6, you don't hand it to Mark Ingram. You throw it to Mark Andrews. So I think Mark Andrews becomes a chain mover in this game. And I think you can expect a line of 6 for 85 in the touchdown out of Mark Andrews. So, love Mark Andrews against Miami.
And it's about time they don't have 5 mid-tier tight ends in Baltimore. It's like they were the mini Colts.
The time is now gone. Nick Boyle, Hayden Hurst, Todd Heap, they're not going to do much this week. Todd Heap's not in the league, so. But Hayden Hurst, not.
No Shannon Sharp, no Ben Coates.
I threw $1 out on Hayden Hurst the other day as a free agent. I'm like, hell, maybe I was wrong last year.
Yeah. Real quick, what about Max Williams in Arizona? He looks like the guy. Him and Charles Clay. A lot of people are saying Max Williams could be the guy in Arizona.
They cut Ricky Seals-Jones.
They did. The Browns pick him up.
Yeah, listen, I don't think RSJ was great, but
he's a pass catcher.
He was okay for what they see in Williams. Is it fantasy startable? No, but definitely enough to move on from what they had.
Agreed. Anybody else have anything to add? We want to talk about AB anymore? Has he posted a new YouTube video?
Probably.
Arms, do you feel like you didn't get enough talk time this episode?
No,
you want
not
to throw
really,
in some
but
more?
I'm okay.
Sure?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Neil, your return to the back row after a small, Walmart hiatus.
Yes.
Speaking of which, you might know what I'm talking about. Have you ever done the Squiggly?
No.
No? They don't have those meetings anymore at Walmart where you do the W, give me a W, give me an A.
They do not. They do not.
Then it's about time. All right. Well, hey, Hux, did you feel you got enough talk time on tonight's episode?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, okay.
You want to do any DFS, Hux?
Oh, yeah. You want to give some DFS picks real quick? Or
yeah, if we got some time,
Absolutely.
run down some.
Just blast through them. Give us your best Arms impression and talk fast.
Speak fast.
In red face.
And hard.
All right, I'll just start with the quarterback and go down. Give you a couple picks and maybe a fade. And some of them are going to be pretty popular picks, but we'll just go down. My favorite quarterback play is Kirk Cousins. He's priced at 5,500. He's going to be pretty low owned compared to some guys around him. I like Cam Newton's matchup.
How much is Cam?
Cam's 6,500.
Yeah.
And then I got
Give me Cousins over Cam. Sorry.
And I got Nick Foles at 5,300. So, and I've been looking around, and the Jaguars' offense is starting to get pretty trendy for DraftKings this week. I think that matchup as a whole is going to be pretty popular.
They played the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs last year they had a pretty porous defense.
Give me Cam.
Valid reasoning.
Cam against the Rams.
I mean, I definitely like Cam, but ownership wise is why I took Cousins. He's probably gonna come in under 5% owned. Cam will probably be one of your higher owned quarterbacks,
especially at that rate.
Yeah. And I wrote down I'm probably not a popular play, and I'm not technically fading all Chiefs this week, but except for Kelsey will be the only Chief I play this week.
Right, because Williams isn't good to start.
And I'm not starting Williams. Mahomes I don't think he's going to pay off his price.
Yeah,
that's all it comes down to.
How much is he?
Mahomes is 7,200.
Yeah, I thought it was higher than that.
And then I'm not playing Tyreek Hill just because of the matchup, and he's 70.
Yeah, that's crazy.
7,600.
Give me Sammy for like 3,000 less, probably.
I was going to say who's comparable in that price range. I mean, you should be able to get like a Michael Thomas in that price range, or
this is just for the main slate Sunday. They play Monday.
Oh, okay, got you.
Guys around Tyreek Hill. You got Keenan Allen, who's right below him.
Give me Keenan Allen.
And then
give me Keenan Allen facing a top 3 cornerback in the league.
Mike Evans is going to be pretty popular just because of the matchup.
Right,
he's 300 more than Tyreek Hill. Give me Evans all day. And Odell's the highest price at 81. Love the matchup. I'd take him. If I'm going to spend up to 7,600 for Tyreek, I'm going to find the extra 500 to go Odell.
And what you can do in your quarterback plays.
Right. Running back, and 2 of these are obvious popular picks this week. Dalvin at 6,000. He's going to be real popular this week just because of the buzz around the industry on him is really high. He's trending as the top on FanShare Sports. His projected ownership is projected as to be the top. Chris Carson at 5,700, obviously at home, great matchup. And this is just a pivot off. I got Tevin Coleman down at 5K. It might not be a popular play, and that's basically why I put him down. He's going to be low owned. If anybody goes running back, they're going to go Breda there, who's cheaper than Coleman, but he's going to be more popular. You got to look at the ownership percentages. You try to get some leverage.
I like that.
Well, that's what you got to do. If everybody's got the same.
You got to.
people.
I mean,
right.
And that goes
Outside
wide receiver here. Yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, to move up in especially large field tournaments, those GPPs, you gotta find those low end guys to move you up the leaderboard. Because I mean, if everybody has the same plays, you can't move up.
I got a Chubb. You know what happens when Hux talks DFS? I'll be making a deposit tonight. That's what happens.
All right, I'm just over here taking notes. I already made my deposit this morning.
Listen, Hux makes good DFS picks. I mean, especially if we get into golf or basketball, you'll definitely want to hear him. But he gives pretty good NFL picks as well, so he's right up there with Gup's Corner.
Hey.
Will be. Give it time. Huck's Corner.
Oh, come on now! Don't rip off them guys. It's a good Gup's Corner is a good community over there. I enjoy all their stuff.
They are. All right. You got any more?
I was just gonna go through some receivers real quick. Chris Godwin's gonna be popular this week, but love his matchup and his price at 6,200. I'd play him over Mike Evans. Just because of the price, you get him at 1,700 cheaper. I like Cooper Kupp at 5,700.
That's crazy.
I think that could be his lowest price point of the year. And I got both Carolina guys down. Samuel's probably going to be more popular. He's cheaper. So if you're only going to play one, I'd go DJ Moore.
I agree. He's going to score a touchdown this week.
See, I'm going to go Samuel. Like, give me the money to spend somewhere else.
You're not the DFS guy.
Sorry. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, and that leads me to my stacks. I got a couple team stacks here, and that's really what it's about when you're making your lineups. You want to do a team stack. I got the Vikings team stack down. You can, with Cousins, Dalvin, you get Thielen and Diggs, just kind of mix and match there. If you want to get a little different, just do Cousins with Thielen and Diggs. Leave Dalvin out because he's going to be pretty popular. Panthers, just mix and match the receivers with McCaffrey and Cam. The Bucs 49ers game is going to be pretty popular. Game stack wise, you can run that all the way through with both sides. And then Jaguars, run it back with Kelsey. That's about all I got.
You're going to make me edit out so many ums. So many ums.
My bad.
That's
all I got.
We're done. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night.
Really? You don't say good night until I say barks out.
Oh, well, you said see you next time.
Know your role.
All right, I'll shut my hole.
We did a lot of rock talk today.
We did. On basically,
it doesn't matter what you have to say. Barks out.
Good night.
Later.
Peace.
See ya.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.